Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today is Friday, so that means it is Mixed Media Mayhem. Now this is the background that I did last night when it was super hot here, guys. It is definitely not as hot today. Right now it is 79 degrees, so I am up in the scrapbook room and feel totally comfortable scrapbooking. So since it is Mixed Media Mayhem today, I decided I was going to use this as my background. Now, Mel picked out our recipe. We need texture paste, embossing powder, and ink. I'm going to cheat and use my embossing ink as ink because I already have aqua pigments and chroma mists and all the things already on the background. So, this is colorful sea glass. So I'm going to use this as my photo, and look at this background. I am in love with this background, and when I made the background, I thought I was going to do it this way. But ultimately, I love the way it looks this way the most. Okay, so let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I have left my paper in the position that it's going to be in. Now I'm going to go pick out a couple 6x6 paper pads to go ahead and make some mats. Now, I don't want to cut down my photograph. You guys know that I normally don't have a problem cutting down 4x6 photographs to like 4x5.5. And then I use a 6x6 paper pad to mat the photos. Normally don't have a problem with that whatsoever. However, this time I did not want to do that because I did not want to lose any of the sea glass in the photos. So what I did was I just cut out 4x6 papers, and I'm going to layer them up to create sort of like a mat pile, like a photo mat pile. So you'll see what I'm talking about. That will make sense. I'm actually putting away some of the stuff I used for this layout while I'm doing this voiceover. So if you hear some noises, that's all it is, you guys. That is all it is. Okay, so now I used my embossing ink pad. I'm going to put that across my layout like this. What I'm basically doing is creating that ledge that I like to put my photograph on. So normally I would do this with paper or washi tape or ribbon or some sort of fabric or something, but this time I decided to go big and go with some pretty bold black embossing powder. Now you guys know that I am a fiend for Brutus Monroe embossing powder, especially the Raven embossing powder, because let's face it, it is the best embossing powder there is. And I thought that long before I was ever on the Brutus Monroe design team, you guys. So if you think that I'm just saying that because I'm on the design team, you are wrong. And I will tell you that to your face. You are wrong. So I am using my heat tool to go ahead and heat all of this up so it's nice and smooth and melty. Now, it's not going to be completely smooth, and the reason why it's not going to be completely smooth is because, remember, this background is actually on watercolor paper, so it's got a texture to it. I could have did another layer of embossing powder over that, and it could have been smoother. But honestly, I'm not stressing over it, and honestly, either should you. So I go ahead and figure out where I'm going to put this stencil. Now, this is a Brutus Monroe stencil. I use it like a doily, basically. So we're gonna put that down there like that, and I'm just using the white texture paste to go ahead and get that down on the layout. So again, remember, this is over watercolor paper, so my lines might not be as smooth as other times if I had used, you know, a straight white cardstock or something like that. So now I am creating that kind of photo mat pile that I was telling you guys about. And I hope that that will make sense to you when you see it. Wow, this room is a travesty. So hopefully that'll make sense to you when you see it. And I try to line it up so that there is a little bit of the black embossing powder underneath of those photo mats. I decided that I needed something else underneath of the photo itself. I felt like I needed a little bit more of black, so I went ahead and matted my photograph there on some black cardstock. So the only thing I did was give it basically a little tiny little edge all the way around it. And then I popped it down on my pile. Now this is where I struggled a little bit, and I actually edited out a good amount of this video because basically I'm sitting here staring at the layout and you see my fingers dance. And I'm like, these people don't need to just sit there and watch my fingers dance. That would probably be a really big pain in the butt to watch that. And I'm cleaning up and just threw away a brand new spray. So I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. So I'm using some thickers and then also some pink fresh letters. And my title is This is Glass. So obviously, you know, not a lot of thought went into that title. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing witty. Nothing special about it. I literally just said, this is glass. So, I mean, guys, like, what am I supposed to do here, right? Like, not every single title can be witty. Not every single title can be magical. Frankly, I'm glad that there's even a title on this page because I've done other sea glass layouts from this trip, and I honestly don't remember what that entire layout kind of looks like. So yeah, it's fine. So it's got a This is Glass title because, you know, Captain Obvious over here. So now I'm trying to figure out something to put over here on the left corner where I've kind of got that photo mat paper that's kind of sticking out. Like there's a bunch right there, right? Like something needs to happen with that. So I pull out this little guy right here, and what this is a fringy kind of thingy. I don't know what to call it. It's a fringy thingy. It's a Vicky Boutin fringy thingy, and I think you could like put it on a album or a planner or something like that. I think that is kind of what the intent is behind it. But I'm trying to figure out what the heck I can put over it so that the fringy thing is kind of sticking out, because I think that it is super cool. So ultimately I mess around with the flowers. I'm trying to figure out what could be a really good thing for it. Ultimately, I don't go with the flowers. Ultimately, I end up going with a star. I thought I was going to include the flower too, but no, I go for a star. So these are naked chipboard stars, and oh, there's my pile of new stencils. I was looking for this and I found it. That's fantastic. Okay, so I am doing the naked chipboard star. I'm going to use my oh man, my mind just blanked. I'm going to use my aqua pigment on there, and I'm going to color the star. And then I was like, you know what? I could probably just go ahead and use the aqua pigment as the base for my embossing powder. My mind is just blanking right now. So I'm painting it on with the dropper. I'm not really concerned about anything else but painting it on with the dropper. That's all I'm really doing. I just dropped off my stencils at the sink so I could scrub them after I do this voiceover. So I'm using the dropper. I dump on the embossing powder. It's a little bit thick, right? Like there is a lot of moisture and a lot of wetness going on right there. So what I have to do is dump it off, and I just kind of heat it up and emboss it with how it's, and like with how it is, right? Like I'm not stressing about it. I'm not making anything, like I'm not gonna freak out and do it over again or anything like that, which, you know, I very well could have lost my business over it, but I did not. I actually had to glue a bit of the stars back down because, you know, that's a very real thing that happened. The layer of the chipboard kind of popped up, and you know, that's a thing that happens, and it's fine, right? Like I'm not terribly concerned about it. Wow, this room is really a travesty the more and more I look at it. Great. So I am heating it up. Ultimately, it doesn't have that smooth, melty surface that I'm used to when I emboss, but I like the effect of what happened. So I would say it's kind of like a happy accident. I wasn't expecting it to happen, but it did. So I'm going to call it a win. Now, this takes me forever to go ahead and emboss this and get it done. And finally, I figure it out. I then emboss 2 of the smaller stars, but I don't have that on camera. I'm not going to make you watch that because it's a little bit of a mess. Let's be real. So now I'm going to pull the layout back and put the star down and figure out what I want to do. So normally I would put the hangy down tassel thing face down, and I actually did think about unrolling the tassel thing because I did that with the Amy Tangerine kind of bloof balls and unrolled them all and used them like that. But this one I'm not going to. I'm going to kind of have the tassel sticking out of the upper left-hand side, and what that's going to do is kind of, in my mind at least, it makes it look like a shooting star a little bit, and I like that a lot. I wasn't exactly sure how to decorate with chunks of sea glass. Like what do you decorate? Maybe I could have stamped some things, like stamped some diamonds or something like that. I don't know, but I wasn't feeling that, you guys. So I'm going to put a flare button down. Thought about bringing in that floral bit too. Didn't like it. Put the flare button down straight on the star. And then I figure out where I want these 2 little chipboard stars to go. We're going to unnakedify them. They're going to get blue and embossed as well. And then I glued that sucker down with some Nouveau Deluxe. And then this is still out on my desk. It's some Kaiser Craft spray. So I went ahead and sprinkled that around. I like the little bit of extraness that sprinkly did. And then that is going to do it for this layout, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out everyone who's playing along with Mixed Media Mayhem. Again, I appreciate you guys watching, listening to me run my mouth, visiting me on Whiny Wednesday Live, shopping at my store. I appreciate it all, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.